Success is the follow-up to success. I'm gonna say that one more time. Success is the follow-up to success. Anybody can be successful one time. True success is when you follow that success up by being successful again.
Let's go, let's grow, let's get it.
My name is Carlos V. Spencer here, the vision producer. We're here to make you better. We're here to get you better. You've been watching throughout these weeks. I know you've been making yourself better. Hopefully you're taking notes. Also, the good thing is with this video, you can rewind it. You can take it back. You can pause it. You can take notes on it. You can rewind it and watch it again. The greatest thing, too, about videos, one of the greatest things is you can watch it over and over again. Bruce Lee said, fear not the man who's mastered 10,000 kicks. Fear the man who's mastered one kick 10,000 times. What do I mean by that? Repetition. Doing something over and over and over and over and over again. I'm not impressed by people who read a whole bunch of books. I've read a lot of books. I've done 26 books in 26 weeks at one point. The thing that's impressive to me is how many times you go back and read the same book again. So when you read something over and over again, here's a conundrum. When we read something one time, the problem is we feel like we figured it out. The problem is we feel like, oh, I've read this book one time, I read that. Oh, have you ever read this particular book, Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice, which is a great book, by the way, by Dennis Kimbrough. You ever read Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice? Oh yeah, I read that. And you read it one time, not knowing that you need to go back into it to master it again. So watch the videos again. Go back and watch videos from the other sessions, from other weeks, and get them into yourself again and again. Repetition, repetition, repetition. So here we're talking about success today, and we're talking about follow-up. Here's a saying. You can quote me on saying it. Carlos V. Spencer Speaks. You can quote me on saying this. Success. What is success? Success is the follow-up to success. I'm going to say that one more time. Success is the follow-up to success. Anybody can be successful one time. True success is when you follow that success up by being successful again. And one of the best ways is by putting together a plan for yourself. So when you reach a level of success, you know how you actually got there. It's not by accident. So success is the follow-up to success. So when you're successful one time, anybody can do that. And you're saying, well, Carlos, I don't know if anybody can do that. Well, look at a one-hit wonder. And a one-hit wonder is somebody who had a successful song and they hit that song one time and you can still hear that song 20 years from now, but you never see the artist anymore again because they were successful one time. Success is the follow-up to success. So when you're pushing to be successful, success leaves clues, success leaves breadcrumbs, which means if you find a successful path or you find something that somebody has done, or here's a great one, find a mentor who's done something and became successful, and find out how not only they became successful, but find out how they recreated that success. Oh, this is good. What do I mean by that? When you find out how they recreated the success, find somebody who's been successful in multiple things or even in the same thing multiple times and ask them the things that they've done the different times that are successful. So they could have been successful one time and they could have done 10 things, let's say fictitiously. They did 10 things, but then now they reduplicated the success and they only use 8 of those things. And then they reduplicated that success again and they only use 5 of those things. Watch this. 5 of those things they use in each thing to be successful. That's what I mean. Find out the things that you can use to be successful more than one time. Success is the follow-up to success. That means if you've been successful one time, that's good. I'm not saying it's hard. It's an easy thing to do, but I am saying the harder thing to do is to reduplicate that thing. There's a commercial years ago, I remember, this might be before some of y'all time. Years ago, it was Emmitt Smith. He was a running back for the Dallas Cowboys. And I love this beautiful commercial. They show him, he's on the weight bench. And he's doing on the weight and he's bench pressing. And he bench presses one time and he stops. And he says something like, I'm taking a break. And then he bench presses again. And then he goes again and again and again. And the commercial is pretty much saying that, yeah, you've been successful once. Now, in order to be successful again, you got to go ahead and get at it. You got to not even take a long break at it. You got to keep pushing yourself to go to another level. So when you want to be successful at something, don't get caught up in just putting everything that you have into it so much to the point when you reach this level that you reach that you're done and you don't want to do it no more. or that you're done and you don't have anything left in the tank, or that you're done and you don't know how you've actually got to this level of success in your life. So let me read this. When you're building something and you're successful at something, the worst thing that you can do is quit after you become successful. Why do that? Or here it is, why give up when you're on your way, watch this, when you're on your way to that success? I'm gonna use numbers again. So say you're going 1 through 10, and 10 is the ultimate level of success. But you get to 5 and you quit. You get to 5 and you quit, and then you go back to the beginning. Now catch what I just said. You get to 5, your success level was 10, let's say. And you get to 5, you quit, you go back to the beginning. If you quit and go back to the beginning, you went the same distance that you would have went if you just kept going to the end. So you might as well keep going. Here's the other thing. Getting to 5 is a success. Getting to that success level in the middle, that midpoint is a successful point. So I want you to understand that that's a part of success. And although you haven't reached the ultimate success, you haven't reached the end of it yet, you've reached the part that is beyond what you've ever done when you actually started out. Here's the scripture. Don't give up in doing good, for you shall reap in due season if you faint not. Again, never give up when you're doing something good, because you'll reap in due season if you faint not. I hear people all the time, especially people I get a chance to mentor. It just didn't work for me, I quit. Or it didn't work for me, I never got the success I wanted to get to. It didn't work for me because I didn't reach the level I wanted to reach. So did you not reach the level and you gave up? Or did you not reach the level because you just stopped going toward it? Watch this. It will work out if you just keep going. The difference between somebody who's successful and somebody who's not successful is the unsuccessful person quit. That's it. Again, the difference between somebody who's successful and somebody who's unsuccessful is the unsuccessful person quit. The person who is successful isn't usually the person that had more talent, isn't usually the person that had more opportunities or had more money. They just kept going. Success will show up for you if you do not give up and you do not quit. Do not get weary in well doing. Don't get weary in what you're doing. Don't get weary in the middle of what you're doing. You shall reap if you don't give up. You will get to the end of it. I don't know who said the actual statement, but they were like, before man had ever reached the moon. What is it going to take for man to reach the moon? It said the will to actually do it. The will to actually do it. Very simple put. It sounds almost too simple when we talk about reaching the moon, but you can apply that to anything that you're doing. What is it going to take to actually reach the moon? The will to do it. The will to do it and to not give up. You'll actually reach the moon. If you say, this is what I want to do. I want to be a singer. I want to be a coach. I want to build a business. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a CEO. I want to be a teacher. Whatever you're saying that's what I want to become. The only thing stopping you from becoming that is you giving up and stopping somewhere in the process. If you keep going, as long as you're breathing, you will reach that thing. Carlos, I don't know if that's true. How you know if it's not true? You only know if it's not true if you ain't actually willing to put the work in to actually do it. Now, I'm not saying you have to do any work to actually get there, but I am saying if you don't quit and you don't give up, you'll reach the thing. You can pick back up on the thing that you tried to do 5 years ago. You can pick back up on the thing that you were thinking about doing 2 years ago. You can pick back up on the thing, watch this, that you were unsuccessful at 20 years ago. You can pick back up and you can finish that thing out. There's a beautiful story right now. I can't remember Pinky, I think her last name is Cole. She has a restaurant, and she's a multi-millionaire right now. She has a restaurant, and she has a very popular vegan restaurant, multi-millionaire. But what a lot of people don't know, unless you study her story, is that her first restaurant venture failed. It failed. I think it burned down like a grease fire. So it wasn't like, from what I read of the story, it wasn't like she failed because she was just unsuccessful. She was failed because an outside circumstance happened, and that happens sometimes. She left the restaurant business, packed it up. I believe she went back into working. She went back into struggling for a long time and didn't go into the restaurant business. And then at some time later, she started a food truck. And when she started this food truck, she was at it for a while, and the food truck business began to take off. Watch this. She got back into the business that she started out before. And when she got back into the business that she started before, she started to see some success. Watch this. And she kept going. I'd like to say that if you look at her success in a straight line, that it connects to this restaurant that failed the first time. She failed at that first restaurant and she ended up doing something else, but she came back on the same path. Watch this, she kept going. She kept going, and now she ran into a success that she could never imagine being on in this level. Here it is. I'm gonna wrap this up with this. When you start on that path to success, and when you start going towards what you believe in, you will run into things on that path that are going to help you become successful at the thing that you're trying to do, but you'll only run into those things if you're on the path. You will not run into those things if you're not on the path going towards what you're trying to become successful at. And many times, dare I say most times, you can't even figure it out. You can't figure it out at the beginning. You can't figure out how I'm going to do it. The how is not up to you. The how is not up to you. What's up to you is to determine the thing that you actually want to do and to start doing it. Once you determine that thing, you start doing that thing, you'll run into things on the path going towards that thing that are outside of your control that will give you something to help you get to that success path. In hers, 𝐕𝐈𝐃𝐄𝐒, just by, for example, and I'm done, I believe somebody, it might have been Snoop, somebody came to the restaurant one day, I believe posted on social media that they were at this food truck that was somewhat successful, and the business blew up. What am I saying? She was on the path going towards becoming a restaurant owner. Something outside of her control, something she couldn't have planned, something she couldn't have tried to make happen. It happened outside of her control, caused the business to blow up, but it would have never happened had she not been on that path. Success is the follow-up to success. Anybody can be successful one time. If you become successful one time, I'm telling you and challenging you not to take a break, not to quit and give up on it. I'm challenging you to keep going and become successful again and see what things that you did from the first success that you're also applying to the second success, because those things can be applicable to future success. I'm also saying that once you keep going towards the path, something's going to be outside of your control, and that thing is going to help you. But that thing that's outside of your control is going to be something that you're only going to run into if you're on that path of success. I'm Carlos V. Spencer. I'm glad you're here with us. Join us again next week. We'll continue to post every week something here to help make you better. Let's go. Let's grow. Let's get it.
Let's go. Let's grow. Let's grow. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's